Welcome to the True Grime Stories podcast, where in every episode, we'll unravel a new mystery of cleaning business transformation from a grimy mess to a great success. Join me, your host, Jeannie Henderson, as together we dig up cleaning business secrets that you've been dying to know. Hello, everyone in the house cleaning industry. I'm Jeannie Henderson, and I'm your host today of True Grime Stories. And I'm here with my friend Dana Sladowski with Dee's Cleaning Service. She's right here in Michigan, where I'm located in Mount Clemens. And Dana has been in the cleaning industry for over 12 years. She took a little break, but came back and has been really revamping her business. And it's been exciting for me as her coach because I've been able to watch a lot of it happening. So it's exciting to cheer her on as she's doing that. The great thing about her service is that she's very eco-conscious, and that kind of is important across her whole service and taking great care of her team. And she has a goal to become a multi-million-dollar cleaning business. And her mentorship here in Cleaning Business Fundamentals is really helping her out with that. So welcome, Dana. So glad that you're here with
Thank
us
you so
today.
much. Yeah,
Yeah.
very excited to be here. Thank you for the warm introduction.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I have been cleaning for a long time. I started my business back in 2013, and I was, you could say, the typical entrepreneur who was very green, hence the name. And I really had no idea what I was doing. And I was the one who wanted to do all of the cleaning. I was at every job and realized after a while it's just not sustainable, and
Mhm.
not only not sustainable to maintain the business, but essentially to grow it. um,
Right. Did you have that thing that a lot of us cleaning business owners have, like that perfectionism thing, like every job had to be perfect, so you had to be there?
yes,
Yeah, I did that too.
absolutely. Yeah, it's
I
really hard to let go of. It is.
It is. And everybody around you kind of perpetuates it. You know, your clients are like, "Oh, we love it when you clean," and your team is like, "We love it when you clean with us." And yeah, so it is, it's a hard thing to move past. But it's good that you realize that that's not how you scale.
Yes, absolutely. Well, and even, I mean, I got to the point where I was super burned out. I couldn't imagine continuing on. When I initially took a break, I had 59, or no, I'm sorry, 49 houses, and I cleaned at every single one. I mean, I had a small team cleaning with me, but that was like every house and all of the back end work. I mean, I was working long hours every single day, and cleaning is hard work. And I got to a point where, like, I don't know, this isn't worth it. And then, of course, I wasn't charging enough money. So, like, I'm barely making anything. I feel like I'm working for free half the time. Like, it just was such a bad situation. And I didn't really know what else to do. So, I was like, I'm going to try something else. And thankfully, cleaning came back to me because I'm so passionate about it. And I really love what I do. And I love being able to provide this service to my clients, and then also to create a really good work environment for my team, and then use my business and the connections that I've made to make a difference in my community. It's really
Mhm.
very rewarding in a lot of ways. So I'm happy to have come back, and then that I found CBF. I feel like it was just a chance of luck, essentially, that
Yeah.
I was introduced. I mean, I'm sure I probably would have found it in one way or another eventually, but it was just really kind of serendipitous to run into your manager at the ISSA conference last year, and she
That's
introduced me
right.
to it, and it has changed so much of my business and my life.
Yeah, I'm so glad that that happened. I
Yeah,
didn't
me
get to
too.
be at that ISSA show, so I'm so glad Katie was there and from Jeannie Cleaning and you got to meet her.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's so great. It's amazing how your mind opens up when you start to get away from trying to do it all yourself and you think there's got to be a better way. And when you get out there and
Yes.
you kind of open your mind to it, there's lots of help out there. You just have to go looking for it. Good thing you did. I'm glad you
Hmm.
did. Um,
Thank you.
and so, you know, you think about your business, and I think all of us kind of hit that wall at some point where we want to keep growing, but we can't keep doing it the way we're doing it now, and you talked about, getting out of the field is one of the things that kind of helped you move forward with that.
It's huge.
But
Yeah.
yeah, letting go of that. Is that kind of like one of the big moments for you? Here on True Grime Stories, we always like to talk about like when you're really stuck in the grime where it might be one of those moments in time where if I don't do something, I'm done in this business because I can't keep going the way it is now. Um, or, is there another grime scene that you want to visit that we can investigate?
No, I mean, that really, I feel like getting out of the field was the big thing. And before I had joined ISSA or even CBF, I was kind of running back into the road that I had previously where I was just working all the time and I was starting to burn out. And I'm like, okay, I need to make a change. And I didn't know where to make that change or who to go to. So I'm like, okay, I know I need to look outside for help because I don't have the answers. And I mean, so in 2024, I had more than doubled my business and I was cleaning a lot and I knew that I needed to have systems in place. I wish I could say that like I had a lot of stuff documented and that's just not my strong suit. It's something that I've improved a lot, especially in my time with CVF. I love all of the systems and the documents and everything. Like Debbie just has it laid out where you really can just come in and plug in and customize it for your service because everyone's different, but overall, like
Mhm.
she really just laid it out and it has made a huge difference.
Yeah. So when you say you doubled your business, were you at about 100 clients then at that point?
No, no, so I had taken a
Oh, that's
break
right.
from
You
my sis
left.
and
That's
started
right. You left.
over.
Yeah. Hmm.
So I to be honest, I don't know exactly how many clients I had. So I have been doing the weekly snapshot since
Hmm.
the middle of March. And when I started doing that, I was at 53 clients. So I had
Okay.
less than that.
Yeah.
But the year previous, I mean, I had in 2023, I closed out at about 90,000 in revenue, and 24, I closed out at about 210. So
Wow.
that was a big
Wow.
jump. Yeah, that was a big
Oh
jump.
my gosh.
And
Yeah, that is
and I
more than doubled.
and I was doing a lot of the cleaning still and then trying to grow and then I'm on the verge of burnout again and I'm like, okay, like this I'm just in the same exact not the same exact position because I had grown some, but I felt like I was in
Mhm.
the same position previously. The only difference was that I wasn't thinking about getting out. I just knew I needed help. And thankfully I found CBF because
Yeah.
it has been
Yeah.
it was everything that I was looking for. I remember just listening to the module, like I'd fall asleep listening to them. And I remember even like getting emotional at some of the talks
Yeah.
that Debbie would say because I'm like, this is literally the information and the coaching that I've been looking for and the connections that I've made within the community. I mean, I have like, we have our group calls and things like that,
Mhm.
but I've created my own little accountability group with a couple other businesses that are
Yeah.
similar in size. And we do our snapshots weekly. We talk about different things, and it's
Oh,
just
I
been
love
really good
that.
to like grow and connect with them. And it's awesome watching their numbers grow and like my numbers grow. And yeah, it's been wonderful beyond what I could
Well,
have imagined.
yeah, oh my gosh. Well, and it just makes me so happy, and I know it makes Debbie Sardone so happy too to hear things like that. Like, it's life-changing. It truly
Hmm.
it changed my life too, to have that opportunity to systemize my business because I was at a very similar point to you when I joined CBF. So, but that is where I would say probably the majority of cleaning business owners either fix their business or they drop out or they just stay there forever, but a lot of people get stuck right around that 50 client mark, a few employees, part-timers, whatever, and they're still in the field. And you didn't even know it at that point, but it's the being in the field that's the first thing that's holding you back.
Hmm.
And we think, well, we need to be in the field. We need to be in touch with our clients. We need to kind of see what's going on out there. So, talk about that, like how how you started to realize that being in the field was one of the things that you needed to address. This was like that problem that you needed to solve was, how do I fully get out of the field to grow my business and still be able to do a great job, let go of that perfectionism.
Yes. Yeah, that was hard. Sometimes it is still a little hard if something happens and I'm like, "Oh, I wanna go, like, fix it and take care of it," and then I'm like, "No, that's not my job anymore. I really can't." And it's I had a realization, and it was probably while I was out cleaning, and then there's chaos happening, and I need to take care of that, but then I have a full schedule, like, it's like you can't do 2 things at once, as much as you wanna try. When we can multitask to some level, but it's like
Mhm.
it's just not, as effective as it could be. And when I consistently started realizing that me being in the field means like I can't take sales calls immediately, or I can't manage if there's something going on. Like it just made it really hard. And then knowing that I had all of the administrative work to do either in the morning before going out to clean or when I got home. And I'm like, I don't want to live my life like that. Like, as much as I love this business, I don't love it that much. I love myself and I want to take care of myself and I want to enjoy my life. One of the reasons that people get into entrepreneurship and having their own business is because they want freedom. They want to be able to, have the time freedom and the financial freedom. And the other interesting thing is, when I'm out there cleaning, obviously all that money comes to me, but it holds me back from being able to make more money in the long run, which is when you really think about it that way, it's kind of mind blowing. And then you're like, what am I still doing out here? But it was really hard because I genuinely love cleaning.
Mhm.
And coming out of the field and having, computer work, I'm like, I felt lost. I didn't know what to do. I'm like, I don't even know what to do with
Yeah.
my time. I had like these
Yeah.
couple like things, but like, how do I make it grow? And that's where the modules help and community help
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
coaching.
Well, and you mentioned something really important that I think also holds a lot of people, like chains them into keeping cleaning. Because also a lot of times around that time, financially, we're struggling. The business isn't making enough money. We're not charging enough, things like that. But we see that every time we go in the field, all of the money goes into our pocket for every hour that we put in. And it feels like you're making more money when you're cleaning with your own hands. But you discovered very quickly that, yes, when you first stop
Mm.
cleaning, I hear this from a lot of people, and I felt this way too. It's like, well, now what do I do? If I'm not cleaning,
Yeah.
what am I supposed to do? And I love that in CBF, the first thing we talk about is getting you out of the field. The second thing we talk about is now here's what you do. And
Hmm.
so the first module in CBF is the right start. It's about getting your mindset right, but then the second module is what your role should be, and it isn't cleaning.
Hmm.
And I think that is it's mind-blowing. Like, to me, I had no idea how much I was hurting my business by cleaning and how much I was hurting myself and my family by still cleaning. I felt like I was doing good, and I really was actually holding myself back, and I was losing money every minute that I spent in the field.
Hmm.
Really eye-opening. So, in CBF, we call that becoming mop-free,
Yes.
and so how long did it take you to become mop-free once you realized that that was what you needed to do first?
A little bit longer than I wanted to. I kind of held on a little bit to like a few. Like I was slowly exiting out where I'm like, oh, I'll just like fill in. Here we go, here and there. And let's see what I joined in November, and it was about April
Okay,
when
yeah,
I like fully got out. I like I said, I've been cleaning for a long time and I really loved it, and it was hard for me to like let that go because part of it was also like I enjoy this. Um, and I mean, I'd be cleaning like a few hours a week. It wasn't like I had a full schedule, but yeah, it did
yeah,
take me a little bit longer. And I mean, I had like there's been a couple times that I've gone and jumped in since then. I haven't been completely, but I, for the most part, do stay out of the field and have
mm.
actually recently made a pact, but have decided to stick to completely staying out
So you
and
drew the
not going
line.
back.
in the sand.
I drew the line in the sand, yes. So,
And I have to be completely honest, my journey was very similar to yours. I still was filling in if somebody would call in sick instead of, working the schedule and asking the client if we could skip or reschedule, those kinds of things. I was still doing that for quite a while. I would say probably 6 months after I started coaching with cleaning business fundamentals. It was hard to let go. I still love to clean.
yeah,
I get at home, I can get really, like, sucked into cleaning because I love to do it. So, it's very
same.
cathartic, right? And,
I
um, and it's also people in our industry tend to have, servants' hearts. We are very caring, and it's a way of, like, caring for others, and so it's hard to, like, not do that and realize that it's actually could be hurting your business in the long run. So you got out of the field, you started working on things. What were some of the things that you started working on that started to make some big change for your business? Because I think it's really helpful for people to hear that when you stop cleaning, the things that you do, how they can exponentially grow your business when you start to focus on things like returning every phone call or answering the phone
Yes,
live, those kinds of
yes.
things. So, what were some of the things what did your schedule look like once you started to settle into being more the CEO of your business instead of being one of the cleaning technicians?
Yeah, absolutely. I have spent a lot more on marketing and networking and education. So, improving my skills and then going out and meeting people and then putting my business out, updating my website, putting ads out, I'm very active in my local chamber of commerce, two of them actually, and they have helped me grow my business quite a bit from referrals, but then also a lot of times we get a chance to go up and share our pitch or our business. So my transformation from when I first joined those to now, like my ability to share my business has improved a lot. My ability to speak publicly has improved a lot. So that has helped quite a bit. And I didn't have the time or the energy to really focus into that previously. And especially, I'm more of an introvert. So when I do go to those things, I do feel a little like, "Oh my gosh," afterwards a little drained, and, yeah, so it helps to have more energy and more focus to put towards those things to really grow my business because essentially that is the owner's role, is to grow the business.
There you go. So the owner's role is to focus on growth, and focusing on growth is not handling the things that, the sales that you've already made. So you've
Mhm,
already sold to all of those customers. And when you go back and you service them as a cleaning technician, you're actually what we call working on old money.
mhm.
And if you focus on new money, on selling, on hiring, that's where the growth happens. So,
Yes,
this is a great grime story because this is the one that probably separates those who do scale from those who never do, is letting go of this one thing that, what you do with your hands or what you do with your brain, so you want to, instead of working just with your hands, because you can only clean so much, but
mhm.
when you're working with your brain, you can add dozens of clients or hundreds of clients as your business grows, that you would never be able to do if you were depending on your hands, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Another
So,
thing
uh-huh.
that I've really added into my, I guess, work routine is looking at my numbers, looking at my finances, seeing, where these numbers, like, you know, what I'm spending money on, um, and being able to,
When you
you know,
said that, like, I just can imagine what people are thinking, like, yeah, what am I spending money on? Because
and then looking at like sale, like closing, how many leads are coming in, looking at the snapshot that I've been doing since March, every like week after week, filling those out and then actually analyzing it and being able to say like, okay, like we're up in this area, but we're down in this area, so I need to focus here. So it really helps to know like where to spend my time. And I, with cleaning all the time, I just didn't have the capacity to add on and manage all those things.
Right.
especially
Or
given it wasn't my strong suit. It's
yeah.
a
And
skill that I've been fostering. Yeah.
yeah. But have you found though, now that you are in a place where you have access to the education, because we all need to keep learning if we want to keep growing, um, that they are skills that you can learn.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. And I had no idea which numbers I should be watching. And then once I started watching those numbers, it was great because I got to see them go up. Not
Mhm.
always, but most of the time. And it's just makes a huge difference. Well, I love this grime story because it is one that we almost all of us run into because most of us didn't start our cleaning business thinking we were going to build a multi-million dollar cleaning empire, right? We just thought it's a side job. I'm going to earn some extra money. You just don't think that big. So I'd love to take a little break right here. We're going to take a little break, a little pause, and introduce everybody to cleaning business fundamentals. And then I want to come back and talk about kind of the results that you're seeing now that you're focusing on growth. So we'll be right back. Is your cleaning business a grime story? There's no need to stay stuck in the muck because you're not alone. With over 500 active members and more than 500 graduates of our Cleaning Business Fundamentals program, CBF is the #1 cleaning business academy in the world and has created more mop-free millionaires than any program in the industry. Learn more and let CBF take your residential cleaning business from a grime story to a gleaming success. Well, welcome back, everyone. I'm here with our grime story today, Dana Sladowski, sharing about her D's Green Cleaning in Mount Clemens, Michigan, and how going from cleaning with her own hands to now using her new skills that she learned in CBF to grow her business and focus on growth. So, Dana, tell me about like what started to happen when you started to let go of cleaning and you started to focus on growth related activities in your business. What were some of the early results that you saw?
Well, I have been able to close more leads, or close more recurring clients or one-time cleans in general. Um, and I mean, I don't know if there's like a quantifiable number for this, but I just feel better. Like I feel better about my business. I feel better about how it relates with my personal life. It is kind of a struggle to not have it take over. um,
Mhm.
I feel like all entrepreneurs like go through this, and as much as I mean, I love it. I truly do. But also, like I said, I do want to have some kind of boundaries and balance with that. So being able to step out of the field and then just focus on growing the business, I feel like it just gives me a lot more clarity and ability to focus. And I've been able to really lay down the foundation to grow quickly. I
Yeah.
haven't like totally taken off. I did, like I said, I grew a lot last year, and then coming into this, like I needed a little bit of a break. So I haven't like spent the hour, and that's another thing that I track is like how many hours I've been working week over week. And some weeks I do work a lot, but there's a lot of weeks where I haven't. I've traveled quite a bit this year and I've seen some amazing places with my loved ones, and I'm so grateful that I have the ability to do that. And but meanwhile, in the background, I have been documenting and systemizing, and I know that when I'm ready to like really hit the ground with it, that I could easily be one of those misses that doubles again.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that you can. I've been so impressed with watching you. You're one of the people that just really has dove in and, you know, been systemizing and systemizing and systemizing. But it's great to hear that you're also taking breaks because going back to what you said earlier, that's what we start a business for is we think we're going to create freedom, but often we just create a job that keeps us busier than we want to be,
Mhm.
right?
Yes.
And yeah, I mean it just it takes over our lives, and creating boundaries where, your business stops and your freedom and your life kind of begin and continue. People dream about that and they can't figure out how to get there. The fact that you're doing that. So when you go on vacation, are you able to just focus on being on vacation?
For the most part.
Uh-huh.
So recently I just went to Utah with my mom, the beginning of
Ooh,
September. We went
nice.
for a week and it was incredible. And I worked 4 hours that week on the business. And that
Wow.
actually wasn't even, and now granted, I spent some time prior prepping to make sure things were set. And then I had
Mhm.
some catch up to do when I returned. Um, but, and some of that work really wasn't even necessary for the day to day to make things go. It was actually like a side project for the one of the chamber of commerces that I'm in. I'm on the board for their next gen group, which is like their 40 under or their under
Mhm.
40 group. We're having a
Mhm.
40 under 40 event coming up, which is why I said that. But yeah, so it was actually something for that event that I worked on that really,
Yeah.
really. So yeah,
Yeah,
four
and
hours for a week was pretty awesome, and that's with the systems that I have been putting in place. So that was
well, that sounds like a dream come true right there.
I know. And I had 0 and this is the other thing too, I love my team, I'm so happy with them. I mean, I pour a lot into them to and they're great people too. I mean, I can't take all the credit. I mean, they really
But you
are
found them.
remarkable.
You can take credit for that.
I found them and I trained them and I really take care of them, and I had 0 issues while I was gone, like
Woo!
nothing. There was one time one of them called me because the client wasn't answering the door. I was like, "Let me call her." And that was it. That was the only thing.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
yeah.
Isn't that great?
Mhm.
And that's really what it's all about. Those are the wins that you have those wins and they keep getting bigger and better as time goes on. But in less than a year, you're coming up on your 1 year anniversary, but in less
I
than a
know.
year, like you've completely revamped your entire business. And I've seen a change in you.
Yeah.
'Cause I remember
Thank
when you
you.
first started, you were so overwhelmed, and,
Yes.
I can see. I mean, you talked about that thing that you can't quantify, but I can see it in you.
Thank you.
You feel stronger, more confident, you look more excited, happier about your business, because that uncertainty it just eats at you that, like, "Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to get up
Yeah.
and do it all over again tomorrow, and it's not gonna get any
Mhm.
better." And so getting away from that where, like, I'm actually in control, and if I want to work less, I actually can, and it's a choice that you have. You're running your business now, it's not running you anymore.
Mhm.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
it's a good feeling.
that is so great. So, all right, you've gotten out of the field, you're mop-free, you're on to your way to becoming a mop-free millionaire. Kind of what's some of those big dreams? Every time I talk to you, you've always got some dream that you're talking about, how you want to do other things in the community and help people and things like that. So what are some of the things that you're dreaming about?
That's a great question. Well, I guess even just to start. So when I kind of want to backtrack a little bit. When I went to CBF Live in April, I went up and I got my picture taken with Debbie, and she
I love
said,
that.
she's like, I can't remember exactly word for word what she said, but it was something like, if you're going to make a change, start in your community. And she's absolutely right. And I love um, having like doing community service. I'm a cleaning for a reason partner. So we've started giving free cleanings to patients undergoing cancer treatment. We did two cleanings last month. I've also partnered with a local nonprofit called the Cleanup Club, and her focus is to keep plastic pollution out of the Great Lakes. And to do that,
Oh,
she hosts litter cleanups. So we not only help clean homes and offices, but we also clean up the environment. Those are awesome to be a part of,
mhm.
and to support and to promote and share.
I love
If you've
that.
never participated in a cleanup, I highly recommend it. It's really it's good
I'll have to look
exercise.
into that.
Yes, yeah, and they're starting to become more popular.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, I don't think she typically goes out to your side of the state, but,
Maybe we can
there
start our own chapter over here. There's a bunch of us
that
over
would
here
be
on the west
yeah,
side.
it's it's awesome to be able to go out and to share the importance of of keeping a clean, healthy environment, with
Mhm,
our community and raising more awareness about it and ways to, reduce our footprint here because there's so many little things that we can do where you think like, oh, that doesn't matter, but it all adds up. Every water bottle, every plastic bag, all of those little things. So and it's really easy to get your cup and just bring it with you once you make a habit of it. So I
mhm,
love being able to do that within the community and just to make a difference here. There's also a program called Leadership Macomb. It's a they're a local nonprofit and they create like a 10-month program where we get connected with leaders within the community and we are educated on various assets and issues and things. We just last month got to look at some things over on the beautiful lake that we live on. And in next week, we're going to go to an air base that's nearby and learn about like the military involvement. There's a bunch of different things that we're going to be
mhm.
educated on, and then being connected with the leaders within our community. So that way, I have networks with them, and I can have a voice for the future of my community because that's important to me and
That's
for
so
my
great.
business as well. So yeah, that's just
Yeah, that is amazing. Well,
huge.
and I think a lot of us, when we start our cleaning business, we don't realize that this little cleaning business can change the world. We
Yeah.
really can
Hmm.
be forces for good in our community. And we what you're doing is stuff that many owners never take the jump into community activism and helping people in their community. And I just love to see cleaning business owners do that. And when you decide to make that shift where I'm going to grow my business and I'm going to run my business isn't going to run my life, suddenly it opens up all these opportunities
Hmm.
that you probably never would have known about otherwise or been able to participate
Yes.
in. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
congratulations.
Thank you. And I feel like I got a little sidetracked from your question. You were asking about some of my goals. And
Mhm,
while, yes, I do plan on growing my business to be a multi-million dollar cleaning service, which that just really excites me.
mhm.
One, because, to think about what all that entails, that means I'm going to have a lot of staff and I'm going to have a lot of people whose lives I'm making better, whether
Yeah.
they're the technicians or our clients. And then that gives me the ability to do more cleanings for cancer patients, or, possibly I saw that you clean at animal shelters, which I'm like, I love that. I want to do that. Like, I wish I could just give away all the things. Um,
Yeah, right. Well, and we just
so,
do that when we have extra time on our schedule, just to give
yeah.
our team members
Hmm.
work to do. We'll reach out to one of our favorite nonprofits and go clean for them. But SPCA is always one of our favorites, so
Yeah, I love that. I was very inspired when I saw that. But one of the things that I had on my radar when I first started my cleaning business back in 2013 was that I also made and sold eco-friendly cleaning products, and then I would offer refills to clients to reduce the single-use plastic pollution that is a
mhm,
problem.
mhm.
And I would really love to, once I get my business to like fully really operating without me on the day to day, to circle back to that and then to start, manufacturing and selling those products because I see a big need for non-toxic cleaning solutions. I know there are some really good companies out there.
Mhm.
Blue Land is one if anybody's looking for anything now before These Green Cleaning gets on the market.
Mhm.
They're great, but I'd love to be in that market and make a difference as well. So that is a big goal of mine, and I think it would be great to be able to sell that worldwide.
Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
and you can. I mean, it
Yeah.
really this is just the launching point. You once you get to a certain point, your business becomes the thing that helps you do the next thing that you're
Hmm.
dreaming about, and your dreams get bigger. So,
Yeah.
I fully believe that that is going to happen for you. And I'm excited to be able to be on this journey with you and to watch it happening. So it's just
Thank
really
you so
fun.
much.
You've been great
Yeah.
to work with over this past year. So, before we finish up today, if somebody's out there listening and they're still out there cleaning in the field, even if it's only a couple of days a week, kind of what kind of advice do you have for them? Like, what's their next step? What's something they can do to start moving in the right direction so that they are able to grow their business and have more freedom in their life?
I would say educate yourself on how to do it properly.
Mhm.
I mean, and get a community. CBF, I feel like is the answer to that question.
Yeah,
um,
it does help, that's for
Really,
sure, like,
it helps
connecting.
so much. Yeah, getting connected and I mean, having the understanding that being in the field is holding you back from growing. If that is if your goal is to grow and to continue on and not, have something that can operate without you, like you can't stay in the field
Yeah,
um
and every client
long term.
doesn't need you to clean their house. They may tell you that they do, but if you and I got out of the field, right, everybody can.
Mhm. And I did have those clients where it was really hard for me because I felt like they only wanted me, and as much as I wanted to be that for them, and I really care about it because I mean, those are clients that I've had since the beginning. So I mean, I have a handful that have been with me for 12 years.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's just like I hope you can trust that the people that I have working on my behalf are going to do the service with the same energy and hopefully not the same perfectionism because that's not duplicatable. But you know, being able to provide a good service, and they all stayed. They did. It was a little bit of an uncomfortable conversation, but they did, and I had to come to terms with the fact that if they did not accept it, then we had just grown in different ways, and
Mhm.
unfortunately, I had to move on, and thankfully they stayed. But if they can't accept it, then they're not they're not my people anymore, unfortunately.
Right, yeah,
You
right.
know?
Exactly. Right, the customers, the clients who got you to where you are today, if you're still cleaning in the field, are maybe not the customers who are gonna give you the life that you want. And same with team members, right? And so you have to realize that and let it go. And it's amazing once a client leaves you and there's this now empty slot on your schedule, you now get to fill that with somebody who doesn't expect you to do the cleaning, who
Mhm.
also will pay probably a better rate now that you've grown and you know what you're worth and you're charging what you're worth. They probably are going to accept a more consistent type of cleaning, expect less of the customization, all of the things that were holding you in the field
Mhm.
suddenly get released when you open up these slots on your schedule for new customers.
They
So it
do.
I that's one of the things, one of the realizations that I really, really loved was like, oh my gosh, the new clients that I'm getting are excited for me to grow my business and they want to support me in what I'm doing. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's great. Well,
It's
Dana,
good.
it has been a joy having you here with me
Thank you.
today. And you have a great story, and your star is rising. And I just love watching it and watching you grow. And thank you so much for sharing your story and being vulnerable here on True Grime Stories today.
Well, thank you, Jeannie. It really is a pleasure to be on here. I'm honored that you asked me to be on your podcast, and I really hope that my story, if anybody's listening who is in my shoe, you're stuck in the field or you just are struggling to grow and you need somewhere to go, definitely look at what CBF has in store, and it's going to change your life in the best way.
Yeah, I can attest to that as well. Well, and I want to thank our audience here today, here on True Grime Stories. Thank you for being with us. And you are such an important part of our story too. So please be sure and share this, subscribe, download, and give us a review. We'd love that. And if you'd like to know more about Dee's Green Cleaning and about what Dane is doing, you can check out her website. We'll have that link in our show notes. And if you'd like to know more about how to get educated, how to get out of the field and how to grow your business, I'd love to talk to you. And there's a link to schedule a free call with me in the show notes as well. So we hope you'll join us next time here on True Grime Stories. And until then, thanks so much for being here. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
That's a wrap on today's True Grime Stories. Thanks for joining us in uncovering the secrets of cleaning business success. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and download, and check out our show notes for links and info from today's episode, and to learn more about our sponsor, Cleaning Business Fundamentals. Join us next time as we solve another True Grime story.